You're watching local news that matters. This is Fox 44 Morning Brew.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, October 9th. Welcome to Fox 44 Morning Brew. I'm Sam Israel. Thank you for joining us today. Coming up, a new book is out that has documented Vermont's history with eugenics, why the author believes the state is still coping with that practice. Then, calling on all dog lovers, a viral video causing dog lovers to flock to the Green Mountain State. What the Golden Retriever experience in the Vermont mountains is all about. And we have Alex joining us this morning in the studio. Alex, I know you're looking forward to that dog story.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. All the floofiness in that story, and it'll be coming straight to you from our newest reporter in the newsroom, Lily Sakaniwa. She did a great job with it, so stay tuned for that. And stay tuned to our forecast this morning as it will continue to change. There are a few isolated showers on the loose from southern Quebec to the Champlain Valley and points west towards the St. Lawrence River Valley. In fact, back near Governor, Fine, and Fowler, even back towards Brockville in the St. Lawrence River Valley, some light to moderate showers beginning to move in. A lot of the shower activity remains to the west today and closer to a stagnant boundary. Meanwhile, elsewhere, it's kind of a gray look to the sky, but it makes those colors pop, don't it? My goodness, a beautiful scene over in Maidstone along Route 102 where the roadway is dry and there's no fog to talk about, but there's good reason behind that. Even though there's moisture in the atmosphere, a breezy south wind is helping to stir up any low-level moisture, so make sure you have a firm grip on the steering wheel and make sure you're bundling up this morning. Temperatures have snuck back into the 40s and 50s with still hanging on to the upper 30s down in southern New Hampshire. As we move into the afternoon, it's middle to upper 50s with a couple of breaks of sunshine and a couple additional showers, but we're going to be saying the same thing today as we'll be saying tomorrow and even the day thereafter. We'll have more details on this unsettled stretch of weather and when it will finally break coming up in just a bit. Sam?
Thank you, Alex. And we'll begin this newscast with new information about the person of interest in Thursday's deadly shooting. It's in regards to a retired dean from what's now Vermont State University, Castleton. 77-year-old Honore Fleming was found dead on the D&H rail trail. It's about a mile south of the Castleton campus. VSP now says the man they're looking for is white and 5'10" with short red hair. Until now, they had believed he had dark hair. Troopers still consider him armed and dangerous, and they don't know who he is. Contact VSP if you have any additional information on the case. And in the early 1900s, Vermont was one of many U.S. states seeking to remove from the gene pool people deemed, quote, undesirable. In the 1930s and 1940s, the Nazis based Germany's entire society upon it. But to a lesser extent, Vermont has practiced it as well, according to a new book. A Dartmouth grad lays out how it happened. Fox 44's Mike Coey spoke with that author.
A since-overturned 1931 Vermont law allowed sterilization for eugenics reasons if there were proof it had been agreed to voluntarily. In practice, the procedure often wasn't consensual.
You are targeting both children and then also people who are considered mentally disabled. So there is this question of, are you actually able to give consent? And we do have records that suggest in many of these cases that it was coercive.
That's just one element of eugenics Mercedes de Guardiola documents in Vermont for the Vermonters. Others include registration, supervision, and segregation.
Under eugenics, it was actually meant to separate out populations that were considered undesirable from the normal population so that they could not procreate.
That plank of the Vermont eugenics platform played out in mass institutionalizations at facilities like the Waterbury State Hospital.
We know from several superintendents' records that they intended certain people under their population would be kept here for lifelong commitments so that they would be prevented from procreation.
The Vermont Historical Society has published the book.
There's a tendency when we're talking about history to sort of glorify the past and to try to imagine, like, the better days, and there's a level of nostalgia and rose-colored glasses and whatnot. But history is not always pleasant.
And Vermont is still coping with eugenics. 5 years ago, UVM stripped former school president Guy Bailey's name from its library over his role in the eugenics movement. Lawmakers formally apologized 2 years ago to all Vermonters harmed by eugenics policies. And last month, the brand new Vermont Truth and Reconciliation Commission held its first meeting. The group will document state-sanctioned discrimination, including eugenics, and recommend ways to repair the damage.
And that was Mike Hoey reporting. In 2021, Middlebury College removed from its chapel the name of former Governor John Meade, the first known Vermont leader to publicly support eugenics. A lawsuit filed in March over that decision is pending in the courts. And on a much lighter note, let's take you sky high to the clouds in the Adirondacks. With fall foliage, folks on Whiteface Mountain are able to take leaf peeping to new heights. Cassie Hudson with our sister station in Albany shows us those beautiful and colorful leaves.
Right now it is at its absolute peak.
Located in Wilmington, Whiteface Mountain is one of the highest peaks of the Adirondack Mountains and the 5th highest peak in New York State. Depending on how adventurous you are, there are a couple different ways to soak up the views from the top.
In the fall, we have amazing activities. Veterans Memorial Highway, where you drive up to the summit of Whiteface Mountain. You can either hike up the last 276 feet or go through a 400-foot tunnel to the middle of the mountain and take a 27-story elevator ride to the very, very top.
If you're not afraid of heights, take a ride on the Cloud Splitter gondola. It's like a bird's eye view in flight, transporting visitors from the base of Whiteface Mountain to the peak of Little Whiteface.
A little bit of a bumpy ride, but I'm okay.
The easiest way to do the gondola if you're a little bit afraid of heights is to face downhill both ways. It's a little insider tip.
The 15 to 20-minute ride immerses you in the vibrant colors of nature.
The fall foliage is just spectacular right now. You couldn't ask for a better year for colors. I've really never seen it this vibrant.
At the peak itself, you can step off the gondola to look around and find yourself surrounded by Lake Placid and its surrounding beauty.
There's a beautiful deck looking over Lake Placid Lake and the High Peaks region of the Adirondack Park. You can actually see the ski jumps and Mount Van Hovenberg. Worth the view. And then if you walk over to the other side, you can see Lake Champlain and into the Green Mountains as well.
Reporting from the peak of Little Whiteface, I'm Cassie Hudson, News 10.
Oh, the leaves are so beautiful this time of year. And attention all dog lovers, 2 Ohio natives have stumbled upon heaven on earth. This story is also in the mountains, the Green Mountain State. And an attraction on the farm is providing a lot of other people with happiness too. Social media has taken a note or two. Fox 44's Lily Sakaniwa shows us all the excitement, all centered around the Golden Retriever experience.
Tucked away in the hills of Jeffersonville, Vermont, is a place some might consider heaven on earth. Golden Dog Farms has been open for a little over 3 years. Owners Doug and Becca Warple purchased the property back in 2020.
We bought an RV and traveled the country kind of trying to figure out what was next.
Natives of Cincinnati, Ohio, the Warples say they fell in love with the property and Vermont.
Our big question was who's going to mow it. But I thought, what if we can do as much or as little here as we want.
The property includes a sugar woods with 4,500 taps, 30 beehives totaling over 1 million bees, a vineyard, and 200 fruit trees.
The smoker's kind of like a cell signal on a really cloudy day. But these are all worker bees.
Golden Dog Farms offers its guests tours of the property, which have been running for the past 12 months. Recently, the Warples launched 2 experiences that guests can sign up for. The one that put Golden Dog Farms on the map, the Golden Retriever Experience. The experience is basically visitors get a chance to play with the dogs. And after a social media post about the experience went viral, the Warples say they've been busier than ever.
I think what's amazing is how many people love Golden Retrievers. And so to see the response and the enthusiasm, it's like how we feel.
The experience is put on with the help of Butternut Goldens, a Vermont-based breeder.
It's nice to know that so many people enjoy what I do, because I do what I do just for fun.
For an hour, guests get to play with the dogs, enjoy the beautiful mountain views, and sample some of Golden Dog Farms' maple syrup and honey.
At Golden Dog Farms, happiness is golden. Doug and Becca Warple have made it their mission to spread that happiness with everybody who enters the Green Mountain State.
Everything and more, you just get to interact with all the dogs. They're coming up to you, they're having fun playtime.
Everybody's so friendly.
Bunch of pictures, yeah, it's awesome.
Doug and Becca's message to everyone: never be afraid to make a change.
You can take a shift in life, and take a risk and some, it can work.
In Jeffersonville, Lily Sakaniwa, Fox 44 News.
Looks like our newest reporter, Lily Sakaniwa, immersed herself in the Golden Retriever experience. Thank you, Lily. And coming up, a new movie about astronaut Jose Hernandez is in the works. How he hopes it will inspire the next generation of astronauts and especially young Latinos. Stick with us.
Local news that matters on Fox 44 News.
Bathfitter is a better way to remodel your tub. Precise measuring means the perfect fit. The Bathfitter tub-over-tub process means no mess or stress. A custom-made tub and seamless wall mean a watertight fit. Premium acrylic means it lasts a lifetime. And all this together means a great value. Bathfitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
I've had a part in designing UVM Health Advantage with my patients in mind. It's really nice as a physician to bring my expertise to the table, to look at what's possible and to be listened to. We've created Medicare Advantage benefits that are made for our local community, and that can make a difference for my patients.
UVM Health Advantage, created with you, guided by doctors.
Come experience the Vermont Fall Tradition. The Champlain Valley Craft Show and Antique Expo returns to the Champlain Valley Expo. Meet the makers of fine crafts from stained glass to country wood crafts to pottery. Check out the Antiques Expo featuring unique vintage collectibles and enjoy the tastes of warm Vermont fall foods and smells or sample gourmet foods like jams, nuts, fudge, jerky, and more. It's 2 great shows for the price of 1. Don't miss the Champlain Valley Craft Show and Antique Expo, October 20th, 21st, and 22nd at the Champlain Valley Expo in Essex Junction.
With a massive in-store inventory across 3 locations, going to Modern Furniture and Staler Furniture is always worth the trip. From couches to recliners to bed sets, you'll have plenty to choose from. We carry a wide variety of styles in all furniture types, from rustic to chic. Browse our fantastic inventory of Smith Brothers, Linden Furniture, Daniels Amish, Lazy Boy, England, and more. Stop in and find what you're looking for at any of our locations throughout Vermont and New Hampshire today.
This segment has been brought to you in part by Modern Furniture.
Now, meteorologist Alex Wasylenko with your Sky Tracker forecast.
Good Monday morning, everyone. We have a brand new batch of your photos on this holiday, Indigenous Peoples Day. We begin you with Danielle Gooley's point of view over in Rouse's Point, New York from last Friday. It looks like someone spilled a bunch of paint out into the sky and just was stirring it up, if you will. Some prolific color over in northern New York last Friday. This one also from last Friday. Annie Craig sent it in from West Addison, Vermont. This one is from Mary Higgins from Paulette, Vermont. Also from last Friday. If you remember back correctly, we asked you to send in any photos you had of Friday's sunrise because it was one of the best, maybe not just of last week, but of the fall season thus far. This one is from Linda Lowe in Middletown Springs, Vermont. That beautiful sunrise coupling with a beautiful tree line full of fall colors in the distance. You can't see the fall colors on those rolling mountains and hills in the background there from Allison's vantage point in St. Albans, Vermont, but you certainly can see all the fiery colors involved over in her neck of the woods. We welcome Allison into our viewer photo family with that phenomenal photo. This one is from Tammy Berman in Saranac Lake, New York, where there is still some pops of color to be found along the trails. There's also a lot of water to be found in Willsboro, New York. Kathy sent in this photo of not just a lot of water on the ground and through the stream and waterway there, but a lot of fallen leaves from this weekend's rainstorm. That rainstorm left area roadways wet, skies gray, and colors popping in Daniel's neck of the woods in Corinth, Vermont over the weekend. And Daniel Gooley also sent in this photo from Rouse's Point. Some geese in the foreground, but a massive amount of geese in the background there. Certainly Saturday was a day for the ducks and geese. But then there were some silver linings to that wet forecast Saturday. Therese sent this one in from somewhere really lovely, right? Location unknown, but boy, we got to get there to that wide open field to experience a scene like that. And last but not least, Drew Bressel sent this one in from Cambridge, Vermont on Saturday, as you may have guessed, with some low-level clouds, some rain, and pops of fall color. The pops of color on radar imagery this morning are centered around northern New York and a stagnant boundary to our west. That's where we find some light showers moving across Hammond, Rossi, Governor, Fowler, up to Potsdam, down to Russell, and even in and around Oswegatchie. Shazy up to Rouse's Point, over across the way to Swanton and St. Albans, dealing with a few splashers and dashers and even a couple of sprinkles down across the southern Champlain Valley. The extent of the showers today, this is about as wide as it gets and as much real estate as it covers. As you move into the afternoon, a couple additional showers are likely, but the bigger focus today will be on those blustery south winds, which are already creating quite a wind chill, feeling like the 30s and 40s from time to time this morning. We make our way into the upper 50s for the afternoon, but it takes all day to get there. And with that in mind, as we carry that southerly breeze over into the afternoon with a few breaks of sunshine and those stray showers, it's going to be a much cooler than normal day, not just on paper, but feeling much cooler than normal because of that continued wind chill factor. For the overnight into Tuesday morning, clouds continue to pile in. Temperatures fall back to near 40 degrees. We make our way into the middle and upper 50s for Tuesday afternoon with mostly cloudy skies and more coverage on those isolated showers. It's just some isolated showers, very light in variety throughout the day Tuesday as that boundary continues to shift off to the east-northeast. For Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, an upper-level low takes over, and that means a continued unsettled weather pattern through Wednesday where rainfall totals over the next 3 days will average 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch with no flooding involved. By the end of the week, we catch a break in the unsettled weather pattern for Friday, and then it's back to the potential for some more significant rainfall for Saturday. Right now, we went with isolated showers Saturday, but it's a forecast you'll want to stay tuned to as it continues to evolve. If you missed any weather forecast details or you'd like a full recap, mychamplainvalley.com is the place to go.
Maple syrup is one of the biggest industries in Vermont. I talked to an expert to see what the local impacts are of climate change. Mark Iselhart is the UVM Extension Maple Specialist and the Maple Program Leader. He has firsthand knowledge of the impacts.
Generally, the season is starting earlier, it's ending earlier, and the overall duration of the season is being compressed.
It's the weather that impacts the maple industry the most rather than our climate. But climate change causes more than just warming temperatures.
The sugaring season might be 6 or 8 weeks long, but the bulk of the syrup produced during that period is on a relatively few number of days. If you have anomalous, really warm temperatures, like we saw in 2012, we had 5 days in the 70s in March. We saw production and quality drop off almost immediately after that event. Now, if the forces that made that event happen become more frequent, it will definitely be a concern.
And one specific type of maple tree is particularly sensitive to the climate.
Species like sugar maple can sometimes be called a Goldilocks tree, where it likes it a little bit warm but not too warm, a little bit wet but not too wet.
One option for producers is to diversify their forest rather than just using sugar maple.
My colleague Abby Vandenberg has done a lot of research on looking at red maple and finding the yields are really comparable to sugar maple. It's also a different species, and having healthy forests include a diversity of species.
Knowing all of this, producers can try to adapt the best they can to a changing climate.
Vermont produces half the U.S. crop, and it's a really important driver in terms of keeping forests as forests. So it's definitely a concern. But ultimately, some of these big forces, it's really going to be responding to how things change.
Despite the changing season, Iselhart says each tree is producing greater yields, and he credits better technology and equipment. For this week's 2 Degree Difference, I'm Jason Corver.
Local news that matters on Fox 44 News.
It doesn't happen by chance. Martin's Coins and Jewelry has been discovering hidden treasures for clients for over 20 years.
I went to see John Martin in South Burlington with this coin that I bought for $1 about 40 years ago. After the analysis, he said, "Are you sitting down?"
He says, "Yes, I am." I said, "Good, because your coin's worth a little over $100,000.
The best dollar I ever spent.
Do you have hidden treasure? Call the experts at Martin's Coins for a free appraisal.
Add valuable living space and enjoy the outdoors with a new Trex deck from Curtis Lumber. Low-maintenance Trex composite decking is rich in beauty, eco-friendly, and engineered to last. No sanding or staining required. Accent with railing and lighting for a custom touch. Whether you desire a private haven or a place for entertaining family and friends, let Curtis Lumber's professional designers create your dream deck with Trex. Bring your outdoor living to life with a new Trex deck from Curtis Lumber.
Get your forecast first on Fox 44 News. Local news that matters.
Wow, can't eat like that every day. Everything in moderation, right? It can be like that with gambling too, which is why I had to take a break. You know, it got to the point where it felt like I was losing control of everything. So I took a step back and self-excluded. You can sign yourself out for 1, 3, or 5 years, or even a lifetime. If gambling has you feeling like you're in over your head, check out New York's voluntary self-exclusion.
Learn more at ny.gov/NY Responsible Gaming.
For years, we've helped local businesses market to their true potential and beyond. Let ABC 22 and Fox 44 maximize your digital marketing campaign. Target audiences across all screens and platforms with the help of our local experts, using the best tools the industry has to offer. Take your business's digital marketing campaign to the next level. Go to mychamplainvalley.com and find the Advertise With Us tab to get started.
He's a North Star for anyone wanting to reach new heights, quite literally. And now, former astronaut Jose Hernandez is hoping the movie about his life inspires the next generation of astronauts, especially amongst young Latinos. Melissa Adon sat down with the American treasure.
210, we have a liftoff. The 1972 Apollo 17 mission marked the most recent occasion where humans walked on the moon.
It's got to be one of the most proud moments of my life, I guarantee you.
Ma, ¿para qué sirven las estrellas?
This moment, recreated on the screen in Prime Video's A Million Miles Away, was the foundation for Jose Hernandez's big dream.
If you could picture a 10-year-old boy kneeling down, watching a black and white TV antenna, watching Gene Cernan walk on the moon, I said, man, I want to be like him.
After earning degrees in engineering and working at the Johnson Space Center, he was chosen to go to space in 2009 as a mission specialist. But getting there meant sacrificing and facing ugly truths.
You know, I remember the very first time I felt discriminated at school. I went home and complained to my mom. And my mom said a phrase that I'd never forget. She said, mijo, mátalos con el amor. Kill them with love. And the plain reality is that you do have to work harder to get the same amount of credit.
His acceptance into the NASA space program didn't come easily.
So you could turn me down again, but rest assured I'll be standing here again in a year.
A Million Miles Away, which stars Michael Peña, tells Jose's story and one of so many migrant families.
What do they have that you don't have?
A boy that was raised picking vegetables in the fields of California, one day becoming the first migrant farm worker to make it to space.
And I want to ask you, was it worth it?
Being able to see the Earth from a unique perspective, you know, this is a little over 500 people have had that privilege out of 7 billion. I mean, this is a privilege bigger than being a president of a country or a NBA or NFL football. I mean, the odds are a lot harder. Yes, of course it was worth it. Absolutely.
You light up when you're saying that you're speaking to schools or engagements. Why is that so important to you?
Kids see people, someone that looks like them, you know, brown skin, speaks English with an accent, came from humble beginnings, and I want them to feel empowered and say, if he could do it, why can't I?
Melissa Adon, Los Angeles.
It's a return to the Granite State for a Republican hopeful. Former tech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy held a town hall at New England College Friday. The event was hosted by SiriusXM and will air later today. While on stage in Henniker, Ramaswamy emphasized what he calls his 10 truths. One of these includes his belief that there are only 2 genders.
And the other thing is, if gender dysphoria really is a source of suffering with heightened rates of suicide or otherwise, why is it we're going out of our way to create more of it? We know it spreads.
Friday's event, meanwhile, was met with some protesters.
This is Fox 44 Morning Brew with Bo Yi Poon and Sky Tracker meteorologist Alex Wasilenko. The 2 Degree Difference, sponsored by Green Mountain Solar.
We're an environmentally conscious family, so going solar just made a lot of sense. We worked with Green Mountain Solar, and the process was really easy.
You want to minimize your carbon footprint, and when I see at 6 months that we've saved 3 tons of CO2 release into the atmosphere, it's certainly 3 tons less that we have to worry about. Powering our home with solar gives us a sense of common good that we're doing our part to make this planet a better place to live.
Frustrated with cable internet? It's time to cancel cable and move on to something better. Fidium Fiber Internet delivers more. Sign up today and get twice the speed of cable for the same price. Plus, lock your rate in for a year. Order today.
Toyota's all-wheel drive vehicles not only conquer the elements, Toyota conquers its competitors by sheer selection. You see, Toyota has 20 different all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive models. That's more than Subaru, more than Honda, more than Jeep. Conquer most anything with a tough Tacoma 4x4, the best-selling midsize pickup for 18 years, and named Best Truck among midsize pickups. See your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
For active adults over 50, there's a place for you in the Vermont Senior Games. Fun, fitness, fellowship. You'll find it all competing in our professionally run events. Whether you're driven by the thrill of competition or just want to have fun and stay healthy, it's never too late. Sign up today for the Vermont Senior Games, presented by Vermont Blue Advantage, supported by ABC 22 and Fox 44, and these sponsors. Don't miss our next events. Register or learn more at vermontseniorgames.org.
3 recruits have already tapped out.
You ready? Ooh, I almost threw up.
Special Forces, all new tonight at 9 on Fox.
Now, local news and weather from Fox 44 News.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, October 9th. I'm Sam Israel. Thank you for joining us today. The Abenaki Nation of Missisquoi is celebrating a $500,000 grant. It comes from the Northern Border Regional Commission as Indigenous Peoples Day is being celebrated today. It's for a renovation of the Missisquoi Abenaki Community Center in Swanton. The project is expected to create more space for the center's food shelf, where demand has tripled in the last few years. Senator Peter Welch visited the center to help celebrate. These photos are from his office.
Now, meteorologist Alex Wasylenko with your Sky Tracker forecast.
Good Monday morning, everyone. We have a few showers on the loose this morning due in part to a stagnant boundary located across the Great Lakes, but it's sending some moisture into northern New York, to southern Quebec, and even into the Champlain Valley. It's a few nuisance like isolated showers, some of which could carry over into the afternoon, but it's a mostly dry day. Mostly dry day being the key phrase there. Temperatures over in Rutland and across the board really in the 40s and 50s, but there is a wind chill to factor in because of a breezy south wind that will also carry over into the afternoon. Winds will be most gusty this morning and they will start to taper by the end of the day. But by the end of the day is when we reach the upper 50s, so it's going to be well below normal, at least feeling that way for a good chunk of our Monday. You may notice a break or two of sunshine by later this afternoon, a little bit of clearing for the overnight before clouds invade the forecast once again for Tuesday. And this time around for Tuesday, there are more showers to discuss, especially by the early to late afternoon. Those showers stick around isolated in fashion for Wednesday and Thursday, with a break in the unsettled weather pattern for Friday. And then it's back to the potential for a fall front this weekend with some substantial rain by Saturday.
Fine Italian dining in an intimate setting. Handcrafted cocktails. You can find it all at Junior's Original in Winooski. They're under new ownership and have all the classics in their original form, staying true to their Italian roots here in Winooski.
All of our classic Italian dishes are back. We are happy to be serving Italian again.
Whether it's dinner for 2 or catering for 10 or more, Junior's Original is Italian food at its finest. Plan your next night out at Junior's Original in Winooski, Monday through Saturday from 4 till 8 p.m.
A recovery coach is someone that's able to help guide someone in recovery. You get to help people in a really unique way. A lot of people are turned away from seeking help because of stigma. Recovery coaches, I think, are a really great piece of the puzzle. It makes a huge difference when you're able to sit across the table from someone who truly does get it. I'm really proud that I'm able to be a part of so many other people's lives.
Your story, your work. Connect with your local recovery center at recoveryvermont.org.
You're watching local news that matters. This is Fox 44 Morning Brew.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, October 9th. Welcome to Fox 44 Morning Brew. I'm Sam Israel, here now with meteorologist Alex Wazolenko. Good morning, Alex.
Morning, Sam.
And coming up, the latest on the war in Israel.
How overnight missile strikes are impacting the conflict. Then people in local Jewish communities are weighing in after the attacks in Israel.
We'll bring you their reactions to the declaration of war. And the Eiffel Tower lights turned off in solidarity.
How people around the world are reacting and showing their support. Those stories and more are coming up shortly, but first we bring you around the horn with the forecast on this holiday Monday. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. If you have a celebration to attend today or an event in commemoration of Indigenous Peoples Day, you will be in luck as the forecast will cooperate for the most part. We have a few showers in the forecast this morning near the St. Lawrence River Valley up to southern Quebec, and even a few sprinkles here in the Champlain Valley to the central Greens. The rainfall today, nothing compared to what we experienced over the weekend. The umbrella may be needed on standby, but I would highly recommend that heavier fall sweater or a cozy rain jacket to get you by on a day like today. This morning, we're noticing lots of gray clouds, and that's helping the colors to really pop, especially over in Maidstone along Route 102. One thing you will not notice during your morning drive, fog. That is a big change from all the mornings last week. This morning, it is a blustery south breeze that's helping to stir up any moisture out there. So fog is not an issue this morning, but the breezes could be. Keep it 10 and 2 on the steering wheel out there. Temperatures this morning have found their way into the 40s and 50s, but Keene has been chilling out in the 30s all morning long. As we move into the afternoon, it's middle to upper 50s on the board, well below average for this time of year, with a couple additional showers on the way, something that we'll be talking about, those showers, at least through midweek. More details on this unsettled stretch of weather coming up in just a bit. Sam?
Thank you, Alex. And we'll start the second half hour of our 8 a.m. newscast with the news from Israel. The country has declared war after a terrorist attack by the Palestinian militant group Hamas over the weekend. More than 700 dead in Israel, including at least 4 Americans, thousands injured. And Palestinian health officials report more than 400 killed, more than 2,000 injured as clashes continue in the region. Justin Finch has been following the latest developments and has more from Washington.
This morning, Israeli forces unleashing relentless airstrikes targeting the Gaza Strip after formally declaring war in the wake of a surprise strike from the Palestinian militant group Hamas.
I don't know if you just heard that. That's the sound of a mortar coming in from Gaza. This is being fired by Hamas militants while Israelis are trying to deal with Hamas, not just across in Gaza, but also here, still inside Israel.
Israel pounding hundreds of targets in the Palestinian territory, retaliation for what's being called the worst attack on Israel in 50 years.
That is intolerable for any democracy. It's intolerable for Israel.
Over delete altitude restriction.
The U.S. mobilizing military assistance for Israel, deploying a carrier strike group to the Middle East, the Pentagon sending weapons and ammunition, and U.S. warships and fighter jets en route.
The United States stands with Israel. We will not ever fail to have their back.
The White House pledging continued support for Israel, while working around the clock with Palestinian officials and leaders across the region to stem the fighting.
I think it's not about all kinds of issues. It's not Arabic and Israelis and Jews. It's really about humanity.
Across Israel, families pleading for Hamas to release loved ones being held hostage, including young children and the elderly. Near the Gaza-Israel border, Hamas rockets targeting a music festival with many young Israelis attending. Officials reporting hundreds of bodies later recovered at the scene. In Gaza, city streets in shambles, a mosque leveled. This man says the attack scared the elderly, children, and women nearby. The State Department hasn't officially connected Iran to the Hamas attack, but a senior official says the agency isn't ruling out Iran may have had some influence. Justin Finch, Washington.
And to pay tribute to the victims of the attacks in Israel, the lights on the Eiffel Tower in Paris were turned off last night. The mayor of the city saying the tower will be illuminated in the colors of the Israeli flag today. It'll be in memory of the 1,100 dead in the conflict. At least 700 people have reportedly been killed in Israel, with more than 400 killed in Gaza. And our region is reacting to this weekend's attacks in Israel as well. And for those local reactions, let's go to Fox 44's Lily Sakaniwa.
Israel has declared war on Hamas, the Palestinian Islamic militia group and political party that attacked the country on Saturday. The attacks led to the most civilian deaths in one day in Israel's history.
When people start to say this is about fighting for freedom or liberation, that is missing the entire point here, which is that as long as the leadership stays in power from profiting off the conflict will stay there.
The reason for the attacks is unclear, but some experts believe Hamas may be seeking the return of Palestinian prisoners in Israel. Israel and Saudi Arabia have also worked together recently towards a peace treaty, while Iran has funded and supplied Hamas for decades.
This is about terrorist leaders trying to stay in power and gain politically with the people that fund them.
Rabbi David Edelson says support is available for people locally who may be affected by the conflict.
Within the Jewish community, there is tremendous solidarity and awareness that this is something we're all going through together.
The University of Vermont Hillel also says, quote, "Today is Shabbat, and it is almost Simchat Torah in Israel, a day for rejoicing as we complete the year's reading of the Torah. Instead of dancing with the Torah, we are watching in shock the news and images of today's cruel and terrible attacks on Israeli civilians." In Burlington, Lily Sakaniwa, Fox 44 News.
And our thoughts are with those who have loved ones in that region. Thank you, Lily, for your coverage. On a much, much lighter note, buying a certain pair of short shorts could leave your wallet short for food and rent. But it could be worth it, that is, if you want to look like Taylor Swift. It's a pair of fashion denim shorts that are being repped by pop icon Taylor Swift. They were worn by her at MetLife Stadium when she watched Kansas City Chiefs player Travis Scott play. The item has since become a hot commodity, going in and out of stock. The Area brand shorts have diamond embellishments in the front and back. The shorts cost, get this, $795. No thank you from me, but I mean, again, like selling out Taylor Swift, maybe it's worth it for some people. Anyway, coming up, does complaining make work worse or can it be effective? It probably depends on how you approach it. We'll have details next in Your Best Life.
Local news that matters on Fox 44 News.
At Harding Mazzotti, we don't think small, and you shouldn't either.
Especially when it comes to your injury or car wreck case. Because you're worth more than a small settlement.
Think differently.
COPD is harder on the folks around you, I think. It affects my wife terribly. And she smoked, and she quit. And if you ask her why she quit, she'll say because she needs to be here to take care of me. So, sorry.
The people you love are worth quitting for. For free help, visit 802quits.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
The American Cancer Society's 11th annual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk is here. Whether it be with a team or solo, join us in providing endless support for cancer patients. Encourage family and friends to come together for a day of fun, celebration, and tribute to those we've lost to breast cancer. Put an end to breast cancer and join the walk on Sunday, October 22nd. To sign up or donate, visit makingstrideswalk.org.
Sponsored by Otter Creek Awnings.
We all know moments like this. Or this. The hard part is finding them. You can trust Rotten Tomatoes certified critic Julia Swift to make sure you don't miss these moments. Watch at the box office Friday mornings on the Morning Brew. Sponsored by Homeport.
At Harding Mazzotti, we don't think small, and you shouldn't either.
Especially when it comes to your injury or car wreck case. Because you're worth more than a small settlement.
Think differently.
Hispanic Heritage on Fox 44 is sponsored by Silvamo. Now, meteorologist Alex Wassilenko with your Sky Tracker forecast.
Good Monday morning, everyone. We start you off with scenes from last Friday. If you remember back to last Friday, we had a smoldering, spicy, fiery sunrise, of which Lori got her eyes a hold of over in Guildhall, Vermont, snapped a photo of it and sent it in with some beautiful colors up above, mountains in the distance, some valley fog, and a silhouetted tree line to boot. We continue with those silhouetted features in this photo from Ashley Wells out of St. Albans, Vermont. This was like the second phase of the sunrise on Friday. In about 5 minutes flat, it changed colors from warm and hot kind of a color palette to this scene with lavenders and golden yellows, and then things really clouded up for the rest of the day. Brittany McCormick sent this one in from Ticonderoga, New York, an early morning sunrise shot with those colors in the sky reflected off of the roadway down below. Bobby Roberts found himself along Lake Champlain enjoying that sunrise Friday. My goodness, the color in this shot is just stupendous. Check out all the boats still out in the water, too. This one is from Allison, new to our viewer photo family, along Route 58 in Vermont. Just had to stop and take a photo of that infamous, this time of year at least, Vermont Country Road with the wind turbines in the back, that is, and a blue sky hovering up above. This photo is sent to us by Edwin Loveland of Ticonderoga, New York. This sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? Especially amongst still some green trees in the background. Daniel sent this one in from Corinth, Vermont, showing some past peak conditions atop of the mountain there, and some of those past peak conditions slowly making their way down the mountain as of late, especially after our rainstorm this weekend. Bob sent in this photo from Pinkham Notch, New Hampshire. I believe he took it at some point last week during our gorgeous stretch of weather, looking through the gap down into the valley at some beautiful fall colors. And speaking of last week's gorgeous weather, Michelle captured this photo out in Essex, Vermont. Still some little signs of summer with a bumblebee clinging on to that feels of the summer season last week. This morning, it is strictly fall. A big fall chill in the air this morning, if not somewhat of a wintry chill. We have some showers in the forecast this morning. No, not snow showers. They're run-of-the-mill isolated showers, but they could pick up in intensity a little bit across southwest St. Lawrence County. They begin to taper in intensity once you get back towards Moira and Dickinson in New York, over to Rouse's Point, New York, and even across the way to Swanton, Vermont. A few sprinkles are to be found in and around northern Addison County, too, just east of Ferrisburg and Vergennes. It would be wise to have the umbrella on standby this morning from the Champlain Valley and points west. For the rest of us, maybe not so much the umbrella, but that heavier extra layer. There is a brisk southerly breeze in place this morning, and it's helping to stir up quite the wind chill, feeling like the 30s and low 40s this morning, and that's what you need to be dressing for out the door. As we push into the afternoon, a few breaks of sunshine, a couple additional showers, and continued breezy south winds mean temperatures level off through the middle and upper 50s, about a handful of degrees below average for this time of year. Our boundary to the west that's producing our morning showers will continue to slowly work its way to the east by tomorrow morning with temperatures near 40. We make our way into the upper 50s for Tuesday afternoon as clouds continue to thicken up and isolated showers break out, especially once we hit lunchtime and thereafter. Those showers, very light in fashion, continue to dance their way through our forecast Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and even into the day Wednesday. Your midweek forecast will require that rain jacket or umbrella on standby as rainfall totals over the next 3 days unimpressive. 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch likely, and that means no flooding possibilities this week, unlike what we experienced on Saturday. As we move into the end of the week, we catch a break in the unsettled weather pattern for Friday, then it's on to a more substantial system for the upcoming weekend. If you missed any weather forecast details or you'd like a full recap, you can head on over to mychamplainvalley.com.
Thank you, Alex. Now, do you find yourself complaining a lot about work? Do you often feel like your concerns are being ignored? Well, if you do, you're one of many. Recent studies show that 49% of workers don't speak up at work for fear of retaliation, and 60% of employees say they don't even believe voicing complaints would change anything. But as our Bowie Poon shows us, it's not about complaining itself, but how you complain that can make all the difference.
Meetings, deadlines, coworkers, the boss. It can all be overwhelming, and sometimes it can feel like nobody wants to hear your opinion.
I do feel like employers don't really listen to their employees as much as they used to in the past.
When managers hear an employee just complain, sometimes they don't even want to address the issue.
If I complain, it would be about something serious.
There's an art to voicing concerns that will help you get your point across. Experts say the very first thing to do, consider the opposite point of view. It will help you gain a wider perspective. Then, put your concerns in writing. This reduces the risk of repetition, and your complaints are on record. It also allows you to think more about what you will say, reducing the risk of acting with anger. Also, express your complaints with the company's best interest in mind. Employers were more likely to respond to employees who express their complaints, leading to how the entire company benefits.
I have another complaint for Jim's permanent file.
And lastly, always sandwich your complaints. Experts say sticking a negative between two positives is always better received.
The report also advises you to lead the conversation with your feelings instead of facts. Research shows that facts led to employers to agree or disagree, while feelings cause them to understand. We'll be right back.
Local news that matters on Fox 44 News.
I'm falling in love with you. Falling in love with you.
Fall in love with the all-electric 2023 Subaru Solterra, the only EV with symmetrical all-wheel drive and the Subaru heart you love. Buy with 0% financing or lease for just $399 per month with $399 due at signing.
Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. The history. La cultura. Pasión. Orgullo. Join us as we celebrate the many contributions of our Hispanic communities. Celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
Hispanic Heritage on Fox 44 is sponsored by Silvamo. For local news that matters, stay with Fox 44 News.
Take control of your energy bills by investing in your home. Let the friendly pros at Curtis Lumber show you how to save by replacing drafty windows and doors and adding insulation. Curtis Lumber carries premium brands, priced right, including insulation from Certainteed and Rockwool, energy-efficient windows from Anderson and Harvey, and doors from Therma-Tru. These upgrades not only help you save money, you'll enjoy year-round comfort too. Get started today at your local Curtis Lumber.
Our Sky Tracker weather team has been working very hard to provide you an in-depth look at how the leaves are changing in your hometown. With our elevation-based foliage tracker, we'll be able to provide a more accurate look at the shift in color this season. Whether you're planning a vacation or even a day trip this fall, you can count on the elevation-based foliage tracker to be your guide wherever you go.
Tune into Fox 44 News for live updates or check it out anytime at mychamplainvalley.com.
This segment has been brought to you in part by Diamonds and More.
Local news that matters on Fox 44 News.
Welcome back to Fox 44 Morning Brew. Now here's a story you probably don't hear about every day. 2 police officers have been fired for playing Pokemon Go, a video game, instead of responding to an emergency call. Derek Dennis has more details for us.
It's nice to have more Pokeballs and have the potion.
It's the video the LAPD took years to release. This patrol car recording of 2 officers playing the online game Pokemon Go instead of responding to a call about a robbery in progress at a Macy's in Crenshaw.
Oh, these calls are backing up.
On the recording, you hear the officers minutes after driving away discussing how to catch the Pokemon character Snorlax, ignoring the robbery call, even though, according to court documents, they were only 200 yards away from the store.
He catches everything. I don't catch everything. But you're still pretty high up there for not catching everything.
The officers were fired but sued to get reinstated, their case going all the way to a California appeals court. The officers arguing their patrol car recordings should be dismissed because they were private conversations. But the appeals court disagreed and sided with the police board, which ruled the officers committed misconduct that was unprofessional and embarrassing and violated the trust of the public.
The ignored robbery call was back in 2017, but the video just came to light thanks to a public records request. Derek Dennis.
And now let's move to news in the Empire State. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is speaking on the issue of immigration. The mayor saying that old methods can't be used to address new issues involving immigration. He's back in the Big Apple this morning after a 4-day tour of Latin America. He learned about the main routes migrants take on their journey northward from Ecuador's capital, Quito. The mayor says it's time to find new solutions to the migration crisis.
Many of your constituents find their way in New York.
Muchos de sus ciudadanos se las arreglan para ir a Nueva York.
We like to believe New York City is the Ecuadorian of America.
Nos gusta pensar Nueva York como el Ecuador de los Estados Unidos.
And I believe together, based on the presentation we're going to see, we will start the directions of finding solutions.
Adams went on to say that as the crisis is managed, it's imperative to keep in mind that it concerns the welfare of children and families. About 100,000 migrants have come to New York City. And staying in the Big Apple, Donald Trump's civil fraud trial will roll ahead next week in New York City as planned. A judge has denied the former president's motion to stay the proceedings. This while he fights a pre-trial ruling that could strip him of control of his companies. New York Attorney General Letitia James accuses Trump of deceiving lenders by chronically exaggerating the worth of his real estate holdings. Trump, meanwhile, says that his valuations were accurate and the lawsuit politically motivated. And news on Long Island. Congressman George Santos' ex-campaign treasurer pleads guilty to conspiring to defraud the U.S. government. Nancy Marks says in court she and Santos both submitted fake financial reports. She also admitted to giving the Federal Elections Commission a fake list of donors. Santos is charged with embezzling money from his campaign, lying in financial disclosures to Congress, and receiving unemployment funds he wasn't eligible for. And it's been 5 years since the tragic limo crash that killed 20 people in Schoharie. Since then, multiple pieces of legislation have been passed to make limousines safer for New Yorkers. But Jamie DeLine tells us more can be done.
5 years ago, a limousine carrying a driver and 17 passengers celebrating a birthday experienced brake failure and crashed near the Apple Barrel Country Store in Schoharie, killing everyone who was in the vehicle and 2 pedestrians.
It was a devastating event that affected our community in so many ways. It just left a scar in our community, and we continue to think of the families that lost loved ones.
Following the crash, the state took action to make limousines safer. One of the laws created a limousine safety task force. In January of this year, both the Senate and Assembly passed a bill to extend that task force so it could continue to provide recommendations to the state.
This task force was critical, sort of being a fresh set of eyes each and every year to advise the legislature on maybe something that we haven't done yet, but maybe needed in the future. So that bill is a very important bill. I urge the governor to sign it.
I'm told Governor Kathy Hochul is reviewing it. This year, a handful of other limo bills also passed in the Senate. Those bills include rollover protection devices, window brake tools, seizure and redemption of unlawfully operated and unsafe commercial vehicles, and no longer operating limousines more than 10 years old or have 350,000 miles on them, whichever comes first. However, the bills haven't been acted upon by the Assembly, sparking criticism.
I know the parents, the family members, all the loved ones want to see some action take place because the only meaningful thing we can do right now on behalf of these lost lives and on behalf of the families is make the other people safer in New York State.
When I asked why these bills weren't passed in the Assembly, I was told by a spokesperson for Speaker Carl Hastie that these bills have some issues with them and that they will continue to be worked on. However, he did emphasize that since 2019, more than 20 limo safety measures have been enacted into law. Reporting in Albany, I'm Jamie DeLine.
This is Fox 44 Morning Brew with Bo Yi Poon and Sky Tracker meteorologist Alex Wasilenko.
If you've been injured or hurt in a car wreck, we think your case is a big deal. We think you deserve a big team that can take on big insurance. Because what we really think you deserve is a big win.
If you're a recent or soon-to-be college grad and not exactly sure what your new qualification will bring you, just look to the clever few. They know that Toyota could reward their hard work with an impressive $500 rebate on any new Toyota. That's right, recent and soon-to-be college grads could get a $500 rebate over and above already great financing or lease offers. So see your New England Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
I can't believe it.
Did you hear who won?
Our sister works with the guy.
I heard they're from Burlington.
Tri-State Megabucks is our local game where jackpots start at $1 million. And now drawings are on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Even if you don't win, you might know somebody who did, because locals win here.
My boyfriend's father's cousin said they live in his neighborhood.
The Champlain Valley's hottest country is on 101.3 The Wolf.
With the Bobby Bones Show in the morning and everything country all day.
Commercial free to kick off your workday and for the ride home.
With your shot at $2,000 a day right now with the Country Cash.
All the hottest country plays on 101.3 The Wolf.
If you've been injured or hurt in a car wreck, we think your case is a big deal. We think you deserve a big team that can take on big insurance. Because what we really think you deserve is a big win.
Now, local news and weather from Fox 44 News.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, October 9th. I'm Sam Israel. Thank you so much for joining us today. You may remember last week when our meteorologist Haley Boulay went up in a hot air balloon to look at Vermont's fall foliage. But this weekend, the sky in Albuquerque was painted with a colorful display of hot air balloons during an international festival in New Mexico. Hot air balloons filled the sky as part of the 9-day Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. 600 hot air balloons to be exact. Over 700 pilots fly balloons at different shapes and sizes. The festival began in 1972 and is one of the largest and most famous balloon festivals. It attracts enthusiasts from all across the globe.
Yeah, some really cool stuff. In fact, I have a fellow meteorologist friend, Zoe Minch. Shout out to her in Albuquerque. She was there for the balloon fiesta.
She flew?
She did not fly, but she did offer up some Weather 101 that I took in over the weekend. There's this thing called the Albuquerque box where you have a southerly wind at the surface and it allows for mass ascension until these balloons reach a height where the winds begin to twist and move in the opposite direction to the north. So it keeps those balloons circulating in box formation around the same area with awesome sights.
And I have to say real quick, and then you can do weather, but it reminds me of like the Wizard of Oz, you know, when they go in the hot air balloon.
Yeah, it's also magical, isn't it? Hey, it's a magic trick, if you will, by Mother Nature this morning, changing our summertime forecast last week into fall this week. We have a few showers on the move in northern New York this morning, a couple additional showers later today, but the big focus this week, Sam, the cooler air with temperatures in the upper 50s nearly all week long.
Sounds good, Alex, and thank you so much for joining us on the Morning Brew.
Make sure to tune in tomorrow for more local news, weather, and sports that matters.